Good evening, everyone. I will call this regularly scheduled meeting of Bridgewater Town Council to order. And before we start, I'll just note that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people, and it is a privilege to be here. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the agenda as circulated? Councillor Conklin, seconded by Deputy Mayor Tanner. All those in favor? I always look over my shoulder as Councillor McDonald's there. Agenda has been passed. Are there any announcements from members of council? Deputy Mayor.
I think just a word of congratulations to the organizers of the para hockey this past week, as well as the Glen Murray hockey tournament this past weekend. Both were extremely well attended, very, very well organized, and brought tremendous amounts of revenue into our region. Hotels were full, restaurants were full, so it was great to see, and congrats to those folks that pulled that off.
Yes, a fantastic event. So I'm looking forward to more para hockey in the future. Any other announcements from council? Councilor Frazier.
Yes, just want to mention on behalf of the Christmas on LaHave Committee, it's been busy planning activities such as the best decorated home. So that contest will be open to all town residents, and we do have some great prizes, gift cards from some sponsors that did last year. We have first prize from Home Hardware, second prize from Atlantic Superstore Bridgewater, and third from the South Shore Mall. So judging will take place, I believe, the week of December 13th, and then winners will get their gift cards in time for Christmas. I know that also the rec department is planning some other activities, so stay tuned for more details there. And this week we're hoping to get the town community tree decorated, as well as tire snowman and maybe a couple other surprises, so stay tuned.
Fantastic. The wreaths look amazing, especially on the old bridge. Just looks fantastic as always. So thank you for your effort leading that again this year. Looks amazing. Any other announcements? This week is Municipal Awareness Week, and so Deputy Mayor Tanner and I have a couple of, I think 4 classes coming over the next couple of days. Give a tour and very exciting presentation too, so that's great. I always like to remind people that we tend to be the level of government that doesn't get a lot of airtime in the media, but the story I like to tell is one that someone else told me is, in terms of the 3 levels of government, if the federal government stopped working, you'd know maybe by the end of the week. And if the provincial government stopped working, you'd probably realize that by the end of the day. But if municipal government stopped working, you'd know before the hour was out, because it is the services that municipal government offers that impact every citizen, every business in the community constantly, from traffic lights to infrastructure, garbage collection, fire, police. So all those services are vital to everyone, every day, many times a day. So I want to thank our staff and council, the town of Bridgewater, for the work they do, and for the citizens who just make up this fantastic community. So this week is Municipal Awareness Week, and there'll be more information posted online. The last thing I'll just add is, because it is Monday and there's still 3 more days of this storm coming, that they are still anticipating up to 80 millimeters of rain. So I would ask that people just be aware of that. If you see some localized flooding on the roads, you can contact Public Works or Town Hall if there's something you feel needs to be addressed. Also, just keep an eye on your basement. And correct me if I'm wrong, Councillor Thorburn, but the fire department is not. They're not who you call if your basement floods.
No.
911 is for emergency services, and I know that in the past the fire department has been there to help people pump out their basements, but the number of calls they do, hundreds and hundreds of calls a year, they just do not have the time or the resources to be pumping out people's basements, especially when we have a storm and we're in the middle of it, because they may be out doing other things. So
The only time, Your Worship, that they would go to assist if it was flooding and it was affecting the services or power where there's another hazard, but not just to pump a basement.
Right.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Any other announcements from members of council? No? All right, thank you. Moving on to minutes, we have the minutes of November 8th council meeting. Any errors or omissions there? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes as circulated? Councillor Thorburn, seconded by Councillor Fagier. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. And we're down to planning items. We have our open space plan for 2021. So council's had a couple of presentations on this and some feedback and some revisions made. So Mr. Brown is here to walk us through some of those changes.
Yes, thank you. So this is a follow-up to the open space plan presentations previously given to council. Based on discussion session on November 1st and the regular council meeting on November 8th, revisions were made to the document, notably to the following sections. Spatial analysis, we added consideration for neighborhood densities and commercial areas when conducting spatial analysis on open space level of service, such as the time that it takes to walk to an open space. The playground enhancement program, we revised so that playground enhancements would come from a budget line item instead of a surplus. Municipal planning strategy, we added additional language regarding a map where land, cash in lieu, or combination of both will be accepted. Also, that when receiving cash in lieu, funds would be directed to a dedicated reserve and redispersed based on the park's improvement plan. The placemaking plan, the timeline shifted from 5 to 10 years to 1 to 5 years. Street tree management plan, priority level change from medium to high. And we added an objective to focus on mitigating the heat island effect of large impermeable spaces or surfaces such as parking lots. And we added an objective to eliminate barriers that limit safe and accessible use of sidewalks. And with Generations Active Park, the priority level changed from medium to high. And we added a note on timeline flexibility pending funding availability. As such, staff are seeking council's endorsement of the open space plan so that implementation planning may begin.
Thank you. Questions for Development Officer? Comments? We've had it a few times, so that's great. Is someone prepared to make a motion? Deputy Mayor Tanner.
I move that council for the town of Bridgewater endorse the open space plan 2021 as presented in document 21-146B.
Thank you. Seconded by Councilor Thorburn. Further discussion? Checking over my shoulder. Hearing none. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. It's a really good document, too. That'll be posted on the town's website as well for the public to review. We are down to reports and recommendations. RFP 2021-11, Bridgewater Business Park Engineering Services for St. Philip Street and the High Street infrastructure upgrade. Town engineers with us to walk us through that.
Thank you. As part of the business park work, a new booster station is being constructed near the intersection of Logan Road and St. Philip Street that requires upgrading the water supply to ensure there's adequate fire protection throughout the business park. The town received 3 proposals on October the 29th for the engineering services to upgrade the water main on St. Philip Street between Victoria Road and Logan Road, as well as the upgrading on High Street between Empire and Victoria. This would give a connection to the Dufferin Street Reservoir. Staff evaluated the proposals based on the 5 criteria outlined in the RFP. A summary of the scoring is included in the report, with EXP Engineering receiving the highest overall score of 89. The town is contributing $8.4 million toward the interchange project. The cost for completing this scope of work for engineering services is part of the town's already committed contribution, with an estimated budget of $260,000 net HST, with the actual cost being deducted from the town's in-kind contribution. The cost to upgrade the water main on High Street is part of the cost included in the business park work. However, other costs to upgrade the remainder of the infrastructure, such as the road, sanitary, storm, sidewalk, and traffic lights, is included in the town's 2022-23 capital budget program in the amount of $890,000 for council's consideration during the budget process. Staff are recommending that the RFP be awarded to the highest award proposal submitted by EXP Engineering for an estimated cost of $155,000 net HST, but not to exceed the estimated budget of $260,000 net HST, as the actual cost will depend on the construction schedule.
Questions from council?
When will they start, Larry? Right away?
Yes.
Other questions? It's pretty straightforward.
I'll make a motion, Your Worship.
Yes, please, thank you.
That council for the town of Bridgewater endorse the recommendation of staff and award RFP 2021-11 Bridgewater Business Park engineering services for St. Philip Street High Street infrastructure upgrade to EXP Engineering for an estimated value of $170,000, $170,023.48 HST included, with $155,000 net HST, of which the actual cost will be deducted from the town's contribution to the Exit 12A project, not to exceed the budget of $260,000 net HST.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Caldwell. Further discussion? Question being called. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. We have our monthly permit application report there for October 2021, building permits. Wow. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe that one. The town is
It's growing.
busy. So I realize that people are watching on Facebook and they're like, well, what does that mean? So, yeah, building permits, the value of buildings, building estimates are, more than double last year. And I think, fair to say we expected things to continue to grow. So they're, 2020 exceeded 2019 in most categories, but this, they're going to need a higher graph. So I say that kind of not really half kidding, but it also, I do appreciate that our staff are swamped, and so it does require some patience, because when you look at these numbers, you just realize we are busy. Well, I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Just
Councilor
one, Your
Thurman.
Worship. Larry, if I remember, where did I go? Those are building permits, one from January to December? Or
Correct.
The calendar year, yeah.
each calendar year, not our physical year, just to make the
Yep.
numbers of like.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Other questions? No. So this is
Keep on keeping on.
This is good. Next item is recommendation of the CAO, appointment of building officials.
Kind of on the building permit theme.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this originates from an upcoming vacant building official position that the town will have with the resignation of our building official, Graham, and a 2019 memorandum of understanding that the town and the District of Lunenburg have respecting building inspection services. So in 2019, council approved an MOU with the District of Lunenburg that would enable the town to draw upon municipal building inspection services as needed, and there's another one where the District of Lunenburg can draw upon the town's building inspection services as needed. So it was put in place in recognition that there are often leaves of absence or vacations, vacancies that can leave either unit in a compromised position when it comes to inspection services. The authority comes from the Building Code Act that enables municipalities to enter into these types of agreements, but councils are required to do an appointment of the individuals for the other respective units so that they have the authority to do inspections within the town. So that's what the recommendation is. We anticipate that we'll be drawing upon this MOU within the next couple weeks. And given the market for building officials, we anticipate that recruitment will take some time. And for that reason, we will probably be relying on this MOU to provide those services to the town. It will impact level of service a bit, simply because the region will be down an inspector. And as you saw from the inspection reports, we are quite busy. So this is a mitigated measure, but it isn't as if nothing changed. So we will see a little bit of an impact there. The cost to the town, the rate that's charged is 1.49% of the salary, 1.49, so almost 49% extra. The salary is added on to the average cost of the inspector's salary, and that's to cover employers' costs such as WCB, CPP, vacations, sick days, professional development, overhead such as vehicles and office space. So 1.49 of the average salary, plus a per kilometer rate. And that was an agreed upon rate in the 2019 MOU. So the recommendation is that council appoint, and there's two individuals that need to be appointed, Ryan Wynot and Brent Haas, as building officials under section 5.2 and 5.3 of the Building Code Act to be effective immediately. And I would point out that in May of 2019, council appointed Earl Woodworth, Mike Bevis, and Kyle Wynot as building officials who are, again, employees of either the District of Lunenburg or the District of Chester. And these services would be provided via the District of Lunenburg. So we would have a roster to hopefully draw from in terms of building officials.
Are there questions from any members of council?
You want the
Thorburn?
motion?
Sure.
Sure.
Motion on the floor.
I would, that pursuant to the memorandum of understanding between the municipality of the District of Lunenburg and the town of Bridgewater respecting provision of building inspection services, town council to appoint Ryan Wynot and Brent Haas as building officials under section 5.2 and 5.3 of the building code, effective immediately.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Conklin. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Next item is the Lunenburg County Senior Safety Program monthly report. So that's there for your perusal. And again, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, this service is invaluable. So I don't know, especially during COVID, what we would do without our senior safety program. And so that's there for your information. Business arising unfinished business. We have records management policy. So this is kind of a housekeeping item, I guess. I'll turn it over to the CAO.
Yes, so this essentially is recommending that we repeal the existing policy 80, council's records management policy, and replace it with a new policy. The policy, just very quickly, establishes a records management system for the town. It adopts the AMAN's, Association of Municipal Administrators, manual for records retention and classification of records. It requires that staff follow that. It implements Laserfiche as the records management software for retaining documents. It sets out the retention and destruction schedules for documents as well, and a uniform classification in terms of how we define and label records. And it also states what records the town is required to retain and not destroy ever. So there are some legislative requirements in terms of records like council minutes and agreements and those types of things where we're required to keep the documents forever. And it also states what documents are required to be retained in hard copy or paper copy. Everything else the policy requires be electronic. So over time, we will be eliminating the need for paper storage, just reducing it down to what's required to be retained in paper copy. It sets out the expectations of town and council with respect to how we go about doing that.
Any questions from council? Like, when I think of Laserfish, I think of that thing where you put the little,
That's a microfiche.
that's microfiche.
Fish.
That's 1980,
That's
1970.
just shows you how old I am.
1960.
That's,
Yeah.
that, isn't that how you do it?
Yeah.
That's how I look everything up.
Move it around.
I have my own machine, I just move it around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Been there.
Yes. Who else was a child of the 80s?
Tammy, do we have a lot of paper records
We do.
still?
Mhm.
This will eliminate the majority of them and give us more
Um,
space?
It's going to eliminate some, but actually we create some in other areas. So
Right.
like, for instance, council minutes and agendas are all electronic, but they're actually best practices to have a hard copy of those as well.
Sure.
But there will be things like the open space plan, for example, like things like that, that we would just retain in Laserfiche as opposed to necessarily having the working folder on that.
Sure.
So overall, it will reduce the records that we have in paper form. So just across the hall on this level, we have a whole storage area, and we purge that based on a destruction schedule as well. So hopefully that'll be sufficient space.
Other questions? Someone prepared to make a motion? Councillor Caldwell.
I move that council for the town of Bridgewater approve the revised records management, retention, and destruction of documents policy, formerly known as the Records Management Policy, as presented in document 21-148, as policy 80 for the town, effective immediately.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Conklin. Further discussion?
Question.
Question being called. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Under new business, we have an application to fly the trans flag for the Trans Week of Remembrance, which is November 13th to 20th, 2022. So the application has come in for next year. And as you recall, we already have an application received for the Pride flag. So these are in early, and there's no reason why any other groups who want the flag should be putting that application in early. So what is the will of council? Someone prepared to make a motion? Councillor Thorburn.
My will, Your Worship. I would move that council for the town of Bridgewater approve the application for flying the transgender flag as per policy 81, flag flying, on the designated special purpose flag pole located at Shipyards Landing from November the 18th to the 20th, 2022.
That should be the 13th, yeah. So we'll just revise the motion, say 13th to the
13th to
20th.
the
Okay,
20th.
thank you. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Tanner. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. So I know that we ran through that agenda quite quickly. We do have some in-camera items to deal with under section 22(2)A and E under the MGA. So acquisition, sale, lease of land, and then contract negotiations. Plus, after a couple of 3-hour meetings, I say a couple, it was like forever, of 3-hour council meetings. It's kind of nice to get through this one quickly. So if there's no other business, and Councilor McDonald, I guess you don't go anywhere, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Councilor Thorburn, seconded by Councilor Vergier. We are adjourned.